Rehearse with Coach is a feature in PowerPoint that helps you practice and improve your presentation skills. It provides real-time feedback on pacing, tone, and more. To use this feature, you can start by clicking on the Rehearse with Coach button in the Slideshow tab of the ribbon. Then you can practice your presentation while the features tracks your progress and provides feedback. You can also view a summary of your performance after you finish rehearsing. Now, let's get into that. So as you see, we have some slides here and we're going to want to run through it. So if you click slideshow and then rehearse with coach, which is between your start slideshow and setup window, it's in its own little rehearse part of the ribbon. If you click on that, now what happens is you go into full screen slideshow mode. Now, as you can see, we've got a little welcome screen welcoming us to PowerPoint Presenter Coach. As we rehearse, it will give us feedback on how we're presenting, and we'll see a summary, as mentioned previously, and some suggestions at the end. Now I'm going to click Got It, and as you see it, it's now popped up in the bottom right hand side. And when we're ready to start rehearsing, we can click that and we can talk through, and it will provide real-time feedback, which is what we want, and that box is ticked. If you don't want real-time feedback, you can untick that box and just get a view of how your presentation went right at the end rather than being disturbed during your presentation. Now let's click start rehearsing, and as we're talking through, it will feedback on how our presentation is going. So we're on the planet Earth slide. And let's say I start talking a little bit faster, and I'm going to go through the agenda in a short moment and continue to do this presentation. So if we look at the agenda, it's an introduction, background, challenges, solution, conclusion, and questions. Does anyone have anything they want to mention? Um, and as you can see, it's picked up that I'm talking way too fast. Now, I'm contrasting this with talking really, really slowly. And as you can see, it's picked up on my pace on being too slow. Now, I'm just going to return to my normal pace. And one thing I'm going to do is just make myself sound very monotone, which can be very dreary and boring, and can really draw away from the attention and really disengage your audience with whom you are talking or presenting to, and it will generally pick up when your tone is very, very monotone. It can also give you bonus things like, oh, you're off to a good start, and I've mentioned again, so basically that's not the way I should be going about it. And there you go, it's pointed out that I'm using more filler words. You can also learn from this in the sense of when you would usually place filler words like yeah, you could naturally just build in pauses, and which could have a bigger impact on your end audience during your presentation. Now, as you see here, I have a large block of text, and one of the things that is really good and it is able to demonstrate and show is when you're just reading through lots and lots of text, lots and lots of text on screen. So, climate change and its impact on ecosystems, biodiversity, food security, health, and human rights. Pollution of air, water, and soil by chemicals, plastics, radioactive materials, and other harmful substances. Loss of natural resources and habitats due to deforestation, overfishing, mining, urbanization, and agriculture. Overpopulation and its pressures on resources, environment, social systems, and governance. Conflicts and violence fueled by inequality, injustice, poverty, extremism, and intolerance. So when you have lots of text on a slide and you read through it, what Coach can do is it can identify that you are just reading from the slide and you're not actually talking about the content on the slide, which is one way you can disengage your audience because they can read it and they've probably read it whilst you were talking faster than you've actually spoken it. Now, how we learn. And the more you go through slides, it will pick up when you're picking up stuff off of slides, your pace, your tone. Can even notice when you say any words of profanity. So avoid those at all costs, because that's not a great way to go about it, and it's pretty. So try to avoid words like that in your presentations, and as you see, it picked it up immediately. Then I was using not good language during my presentation, which is something you should avoid too. Now, our routines: build a schedule, make sure you get things done, make a list of things to do that day or the following day, allow time to reflect, take regular breaks. Pomodoro technique by Francesco Cirillo. Try to stick to the best. Try to stick to it to the best you can, and reward yourself once you complete tasks. Now, as you can see, I've popped out of my presentation mode, and what PowerPoint has done is it has generated my rehearsal report. And as you see, it's given me a summary. It spoke about my pace, and it shows me a graph of my pace over my presentation. Me using filler words like and basically. I used the word really a lot more, so it was advising me to use different words like sure as an example. Speech refinements. Consider rephrasing these sentences to better communicate. So on one of the slides, and you read it. So it was just helping me be more formal, be more inclusive, and avoid words of profanity. Now, this is also important in being more inclusive by avoiding the terms like hey girls or hey guys, just because that can isolate people who are in the room. It spoke about my pitch, and as you see, at times it dipped into monotone, but generally for the presentation, it was in the positive side, and it gave me a sort of information on the pitch and how pitch variation is key to keeping your audience's interest. And I avoided reading text on the slide out loud. I did obviously in those examples, but generally it does pick it up. But in this scenario, it did not. Stay tuned for more powerful PowerPoint.